Hello everybody, welcome back to the sessions on power electronics by Ramana. This is the 27th session in this series in which we are going to discuss the speed control aspects of DC motors by choppers. In the previous session we have discussed the speed control aspects of DC motors from the point of view of electrical and then applied the power electronic concepts to the speed control of DC motors, again according to the procedures which are adopted in electrical systems. That is, for the case of DC shunt motor, supply voltage control, armature control and flux control likewise. And particularly to say, in the previous session we have discussed the speed control of DC shunt motors by single phase rectifiers or converters. That is, when the available supply is of single phase nature. So there we have to convert or rectify the supply voltage from AC to DC and then impose whatever control aspects we want to have for the required speed control. Likewise, we have also discussed the speed control aspects of DC series motors by the same single phase rectifiers and converters. These single phase speed control of DC motors has its own drawbacks, but in the practical scenario, as most of the consumption is single phase AC, source will be single phase only, but depending on the load requirement, we may have to use DC motors for various purposes. So there, the need of using single phase rectifiers is a must for the speed control of DC shunt motors. In such applications, single phase rectifier DC motor drives will be useful. To extend our discussion, we will apply the same for the speed control of DC motors by choppers. Choppers, as we know, that is DC to DC converters. That means that in this session we are going to discuss the aspects of speed control of DC motors where the source is also DC. So in this session we will be discussing the speed control of DC series motors by DC choppers and also DC shunt motors. You may have noticed the difference in the way they are represented, in this case the sequence. See, series motors are mentioned first, then shunt motors, whereas in most of the cases for whatever discussions regarding DC motors we make, DC shunt motors are referred to first owing to their ease of operation and ease of control from the electrical aspects. But when it comes to DC chopper control of DC drives, it is somewhat easier and less cost when it comes to DC series motor speed control. That is why we will discuss the speed control aspect by DC choppers for DC motors first, then we will apply that for shunt motors also. These are in the curriculum, and we will try to just extend the same to separately excited motors also, which will be quite easy when compared to any other DC motor. Even when it comes to single phase converter, rectifier control or converter speed control of DC shunt motor series motor, there also the speed control will be quite easier when it comes to the case of separately excited motors. So let us start with the DC motors first in this session. It is a speed control circuit of DC series motor by using chopper. As we know, the source is DC and your load is also DC. And our load is nothing but the armature, which is wound to have a given number of turns, may it be in lap or wave fashion, and L is the field winding which is connected in series to the armature, and resistance is the resistance of the series field. Armature will have its own again resistance and inductance come into picture, and apart from these there will be the other extra aspects which comes into picture due to back EMF. So actually, when series motor is considered as a load, when DC series motor is considered as a load, this load will comprising of the impedance due to the series field and also the impedance due to the armature. But as the supply and the total flow of current and voltage are DC only, you will be considering only resistive component for the losses and the active power consumption, and the inductive components will be doing their job of storing the energy and releasing the energy. So you can regard this R and L to be the resistive and inductive components of the series field, that is R series and L series, and RA, LA and EB, or here it is shown as EA. They comprise of resistive and inductive components of the armature and the back EMF induced inside the series armature. In this, the consumption will be in the resistive components due to the series field inductance and also due to the inductance offered by the armature windings. There will be storing of energy and releasing of energy sort of action, which we have already discussed in our previous sessions regarding the choppers and also the rectifiers. They will come into the picture. And obviously for that purpose we know that a freewheeling diode is necessary, which is connected in anti-parallel with the load. This freewheeling diode will be conducting during the interval when the chopper is off or the switch is off, and the stored energy inside the inductance, series field inductance, will be released and consumed within the load itself via the freewheeling diode, where freewheeling diode provides a short circuited or simple circulating path. And this is the simplest of the circuit which we can use, that is the class A chopper or simple step down chopper or first quadrant chopper, where the input voltage will be stepped down. And obviously we can say that as voltage is stepped down, the speed will be less, or when a rated voltage is applied, and the chopper switch is simply closed, the total armature and series field will be getting their rated voltages, and armature will be rotating at its rated speed. That is the starting assumption. And when we apply the same theoretical concept of the step down chopper, the net average voltage appearing across the field as well as the armature will be less than the actual supplied voltage or rated voltage, so speed will decrease. And you can get speeds below the rated RPM only, assuming that flux is almost constant, though it will also vary as series and armature are carrying the same current. So this circuit comprises of a simple step down chopper which will cut down the source voltage and give its output voltage as input to the motor in the required fashion. IS is the total source current flowing into the circuit. ITD or IFD is the freewheeling diode current. I0 or that is load current is equal to IA armature current, also equal to series current. VO, that is output voltage, is equal to VT. So what happens? We have already gone through these concepts. Again, the control of this chopper output or the voltage can be changed or varied or converted or chopped to have different output voltages by changing the turn on or turn off or both times of the chopper switch. These concepts we have discussed, they are, that is keeping by changing either of turn on or turn off to change the frequency. That is called as frequency modulation. And the other is the most commonly used one, where frequency is kept constant and turn on times are changed. That is the width of the time for which the conduction takes place, or pulse width modulation. And owing to its own drawbacks, frequency modulation would not be used. Pulse width modulation is the most sought after procedure to use for any control aspects, may it be speed control or some other braking or regenerative, whatever, whether it is again DC to DC converters or AC to DC or all the types of converters. Pulse width modulation is the most sought after one to have better control and results. So just we will go through the waveforms, probable waveforms. In the slides are shown various waveforms. This is the supply source voltage Vs, which is a constant DC as we know, which is rated voltage. For all our purposes, just consider it as 220 volt DC. V0 is equal to Vt, or say that VO or output of the converter or load voltage or is equal to armature voltage. I0, that is load current, is equal to armature current. And this is your source current, see, IS, source current. ITD is the current through the freewheeling diode. And this is the continuous load source voltage, which we will be changing by changing the turn on times of the chopper or SCR, which we are going to use, or this is your turn on period, and these gaps shown are turn off periods. So the source voltage is applied for some time, and for some interval it will be turned off. Basic concepts. And the total turn on plus turn off time is your total time period T. And in this case, alpha, it is not the firing angle in this case, in this particular waveform which is considered. It is a duty cycle, which is normally given as delta in our calculations, duty cycle. So turn on times is a fraction of the duty cycle, alpha t, and obviously this will be 1 minus alpha t, where t is the total time period. And the magnitude of these pulses will be Vs. So during this turn on period, Vs will be allowed to be applied to the load as it is. Its magnitude will be equal to Vs. During the turn on, turn off, no voltage will be there. So what happens to the current? But the current through the armature or load will be the same, that is continuous as shown by a constant line, Ia. Actually, this is a net average current flowing through the armature, net average current. Strictly speaking, this current will be varying from a minimum limit to maximum limit and again then decreasing to the same minimum limit, which we have discussed in the concepts of choppers. And that will be possible only when the load is inductive. So due to the inductive nature of the load, current can be made continuous. In this, it is possible owing to the inductance of the series field and also the armature windings. Though the series field will be having less number of turns and armature also have less number of turns, they will be having their own inductance which opposes the change in current. So though the SCR turns off or chopper is turned off during the turn off period, current will not become zero, but voltage becomes zero. Voltage becomes zero across the load. Voltage becomes zero, but current will gradually increase to zero. But again, we will be choosing the inductive value such that current will not become zero. Instead of that, it gradually decreases and becomes equal to the lower limit of the current limit we have set, and by the time the current reaches its lower limit value, then at that instant the chopper will be switched on again and load gets its full voltage and current again increases gradually and becomes maximum by the end of the turn on period. These waveforms again just we will see in a moment. So because of that, during the turn on period, source voltage reaching the load voltage is like this. During the turn off, it is zero. So what happens during the turn off? During the turn off, chopper is closed. Source current will be zero. Source will not be delivering any current. Again, no voltage will be applied. The chopper will be blocking the total voltage. Now, the load inductance releases its energy through the load itself via the provided short circuited path through the freewheeling diode. So this is where freewheeling diode conducts. This is the duration during the turn off period. That is how current is made continuous. So this is the continuous current mode of step down chopper for DC series motor control. The same figures are shown in the slide. Same circuit, DC source, battery, chopper using an SCR, field is in series with the armature, freewheeling diode connected in anti-parallel. Come to the waveforms. This is where the current becomes continuous owing to the inductance during the turn off period. Source voltage is constant. Load voltage during the turn on period, it will be equal to source voltage. During the turn off period, it will be short circuited through the freewheeling diode. So source voltage is zero. So when chopper is switched on, the current increases from its lower limit value exponentially. It is not a linear thing owing to the inductance again. Current rises exponentially from its lower limit and achieves or reaches a maximum value by the end of the turn on period. At this moment, chopper is turned off or SCR is turned off. Though the voltage is supply voltage is zero owing to the load inductance or armature and field inductances, now the current again decreases gradually exponentially and reaches the same lower limit value at a particular point we can call as end of the turn off period. At this moment again SCR is turned on again, the next turn on time starts. So the increase and decrease exponential rise and decay of these currents to oscillate or to vary from lower to maximum limits is tuned in with the turn on and turn off times of the SCR or time period of the chopper. It depends on the duty cycle and how we have designed. And the net effect of this varying current, we can take it as if a constant average current flows through the load or armature as shown in this figure, constant. So that is the concept actually which we already know, which we discussed in the previous sessions. And obviously the one more important point we have to note down is, as this is DC to DC, there will not be any natural zeros or zero crossovers occurring through the SCR current or anode current. So SCR will not turn off naturally. We require to turn off the SCR forcefully, or for chopper control of DC motors, forced commutator circuits are necessary and compulsory, and we have to design that. Because of that, cost will be more when compared to the single phase converters, single phase converter drives of DC. So forced commutator circuits are necessary. So again, by proper control of turn on and turn off of SCRs, that is triggering circuit for turn on, commutation circuits for turn off, by adjusting their values, we can fix the fix the total time period of the chopper to have continuous current through the armature for proper speed control, and change the width of the conducting pulse or change the turn on time for pulse width modulation. That is how pulse width modulation technique can be applied. FM can also be applied, but we will not be discussing even. Pulse width modulation is the most sought after one. That is how it is applied. How we are going to do that, apply pulse width modulation in these concepts, it is not in the scope of this discussion, but we will be just going through the outlines of what is what and how to control the speed. So these are the basics of how the voltage and currents entering the armature are controlled. Now go through these circuits, which are one and only the same, where we are controlling the actual voltage entering into the load or the main motor itself. So we can regard this as supply voltage control. But as it is a series motor, the same supply is applied to the field as well as armature. So all the three methods, supply voltage control, field control and armature control, they are one and only the same for series motor. In this case, if you want to change the field flux separately, then we have to follow the other electrical procedures, that is field diverter control and tapped field control. Tapped field control is not advisable for the chopper control drives, but we can use the same with field diverter control, where field will be in series with the armature itself, but the supply will be given to the series field as it is, but a diverter resistance will be there across the field. So in the place of diverting resistance or field diverter, we can use the choppers, and again, but it will not be sufficient for the efficient for the series motors. This is the most sought after procedure, simply supply voltage control for DC series motors. The same can be applied for separately excited motors also. So just to recall whatever we have discussed, the speed of the DC motor can be varied by varying the voltage across the armature terminals, which is true for all the motors, series, shunt and separately excited motors. It is possible by using a single stage DC to DC converter chopper when the supply is DC. As the supply is DC and load is also DC, the conversion is only single stage. We can recall it is DC to DC only, where we will be changing the parameters as voltage. In case of single phase DC drives, obviously you are converting it from AC to DC and controlling the other parameters. You can regard it as two-stage conversion, one form to another form. So to realize this chopper control, it consists of a forced comparated SCR. By controlling the turn on and turn off times, variable DC output voltage of the chopper can be obtained changing the turn on and turn off periods of the chopper. The freewheeling diode maintains continuous current in the circuit during the off period of the chopper. It is because of the freewheeling diode, load inductance can release its own energy to get circulated in its own. In the on stage of the chopper, the current flowing through the motor rises exponentially. It depends on the voltage difference between the supply and the motor. Obviously, the depends on the voltage applied. If the voltage applied is less, means the average voltage due to the turn on and turn off times, it goes on changing. In the off period of the chopper, the current decreases exponentially through the freewheeling diode and RL circuit of the armature. The rate of current decay, how it decays, depends on the back EMF of the rotor, obviously. In the previous discussions of choppers, way back around some 6 to 7 sessions back, we considered a load inductance where the energy stored inside the inductance was just sufficient to supply the current to the load, and the voltage developed will not be very high when compared to source load. But in the case of motors, apart from the load inductance, back EMF also comes into picture. Because of this, it results that during the turn off period, back EMF and load inductance put together, net voltage will be more than the source voltage, and it can be regenerated or supplied back to the source. And when step down chopper, a single quadrant chopper is used, it is not possible. It will be possible when we use class C chopper, which can be operated in both first and second quadrants, which will be suitable for both forward motoring and forward braking, and also regeneration for the forward thing. So simply to say, when it comes to single phase drives, the braking options cannot be implemented efficiently, but in case of chopper drives or speed control of DC motors, you can apply braking as well as regenerative braking by using the 2-quadrant chopper or 4-quadrant choppers, or even 1 and 3 quadrant, that is 1 and 4 choppers, that is class D chopper, for regenerative braking for the forward direction. So the output voltage can be varied by either the PWM or FM techniques. Output voltage of chopper, which will be entering the actual armature. Speed control by PWM, where we will be changing T on, turn on. The average voltage fed to the motor is V0 is equal to Vt, or thyristor voltage is equal to T on by T, or turn on time by total time period, that is T on plus T off. This is nothing but your duty cycle delta, indicated as delta, which was shown as alpha in the waveforms, into Vs, source voltage or supply voltage. And we know that F is the frequency of the chopper, on and off frequency, that is nothing but 1 by time period, 1 by T. So VO or load voltage or armature voltage is equal to F into T on into Vs or T on into F into Vs. For pulse width modulation technique, we will be keeping frequency constant and source voltage is also constant. So this total term is constant, and we can simply record that by simply changing the turn on period or width of the conducting pulse. By changing the width of the conducting pulse, we can change the chopper output voltage and in turn the voltage applied to the armature. So that is how armature control is done by using pulse width modulation technique, which is much simpler when compared to single phase drives. Just by changing the conduction period, it will be changing. If conduction period is more for a given frequency, voltage will be more, speed will be more. If you want to decrease the turn on. So that is all regarding the speed control of DC series motors by choppers, where we have mainly discussed the class A chopper or step down chopper. Now we will try to apply the same for the next case, that is our DC shunt motor. The same step down or class A chopper is used, and when we see the motor side, armature and shunt field winding is connected in parallel or shunt with the armature, and there is one more inductance shown in series with the armature. Actually, for shunt motor, there will not be anything as such. Simply, shunt motor is regarded as a simple armature connected in parallel with the shunt field. There will not be any other things in the series or in their branches. So then, what for this inductance is connected in this case? That is the most important thing to be followed in case of shunt motor DC drives or chopper drives. All other things remain the same. Just consider the case of a plain shunt motor where inductance is not there. This inductance is or inductor is not there. So what happens? This is same the output voltage, the same output voltage coming out of the chopper will be applied across both the armature and shunt field. So it means that it is a simple supply voltage control. If you want to achieve the speed control by field control or flux control, simply remove this chopper from over here and connect it in series with the shunt field. In series with the shunt field, where supply voltage will be given in full across the armature. In full across the armature. But the chopper will be connected in series with the field. By changing the turn on times of the chopper, the net average voltage applied to the shunt field will decrease, or the current will decrease, flux will decrease. You can achieve speeds higher than the rated voltage. And apart from that, the other simple armature voltage control, connect the same chopper in series with the armature, where shunt field will be given with the total voltage, supply voltage, so field will be kept constant. Now by changing the chopper turn on times, that is the conducting period of the currents, or by changing the turn on period, or by changing the periods for which source voltage is applied to the armature, the net average voltage applied to the armature will decrease, speed will decrease, and you will get speeds below the rated RPM only. In both of the cases, the freewheeling diode should be connected to the load in that discussion. That is, for field control, this freewheeling diode should be connected in anti-parallel with the shunt field only. And when you are following armature control, again freewheeling diode should be connected in anti-parallel with the armature, bypassing the SCR. And this is the case of supply voltage control, where The chopper output is as it is fed as same to both the armature as well as shunt feed. Freewheeling diode is hence connected across the total load. So without the inductor, what happens during the turn on period? Armature voltage will be equal to source voltage. During the turn off period, as the inductance of the armature is very negligible, current becomes zero, voltage will also become zero, the current waveform will be discontinuous and proper speed control cannot be achieved and commutation problems will also occur. So in case of DC shunt motors, chopper speed control becomes difficult. Its efficiency when compared to series motor control will be less. So these are the waveform during the turn off period. During the turn off period, this current cannot be continuous in case of shunt motors. Go through the previous slide where during the turn off period, owing to the inductance, current will decay exponentially and become lower value. But in case of shunt motors, as you can regard the inductance to be zero as it is during the turn off period, this current suddenly falls to zero, and during turn off period current will also be zero. So current will be a discontinuous waveform excuse me during this turn on period 1, during turn on period 2, 3, like, which will be the same equal, but during turn off period it will be zero entirely. Net average current flowing through the armature will be drastically decreased, so torque will decrease very rapidly, which is not advisable because motor is already running on the load. So vibrations may occur in the load performance gets affected, and motor will not run satisfactorily. That is why it is discontinuous current mode of concept will not be followed. To avoid those problems, to make current continuous as in case of series motors, an external inductance, an extra inductance which is not a part of the motor circuit is connected in series with the armature for the case of DC shunt motor speed control by choppers. Now all other concepts are similar to the series motor. Turn on during the turn on, current through the armature rises exponentially from lower value to maximum value. It reaches maximum value by the end of the turn on period, and when chopper is turned off, both the shunt field and armature inductance will not be getting any voltages, but they will release their energies through the freewheeling diode. Due to this, current becomes continuous. All other operations remain the same. Current may become continuous. The performance, again the same put in points, will be the performance of DC shunt motor will be less due to the presence of less inductance than DC series motor. To improve, an inductance is connected in series with the armature winding. Due to that, cost is more. What cost is this? This cost should be included in the speed control equipment. So, cost of the speed control equipment, that is chopper drive, is increased due to the extra inductance which we have to connect separately. When the chopper is on, output voltage applied to the motor, then the energy stored in the inductance. When the chopper is off, energy stored in the inductance will be utilized and the current flows through the freewheeling diode and the armature. So that is how DC shunt motor speed control is done by choppers. Just we will have a brief overview of how it is done for separately excited DC motors. Separately excited means there will not be any connection between the armature and the field except the magnetic linking between the field flux and the armature. So field is separately excited, or a separate voltage will be given and constant rated voltage will be given to the field. And here it is shown as shunt field. No, it is wrong. It is simply separately excited field which can be excited separately. And the remaining circuit is same, just similar to the series motor, where armature, inductance and resistance are shown in series like this. This is not series field. Armature, resistance and inductance are represented, and also back EMF. During turn on, similar to series motor happens, the same waveforms come into picture. During turn on, source current will be equal to load current or armature current. During turn off, source current will be 0, but now armature current will be equal to freewheeling diode current or diode current, which is shown like this. Or current becomes continuous. Current becomes continuous, or this sort of waveform can be achieved. This sort of waveform can be achieved where current will become continuous. It is quite simple when compared to any other motor, separately excited motors. And added to that, just like shunt field, series separately excited field also can be regarded as constant. You can efficiently vary the armature speed by varying the chopper output voltage. Again, speeds below the rated RPM can only be achieved because you are applying a reduced voltage to the armature than the rated voltage. Other concepts come into picture. By decreasing the field, you can increase the speed. So these are the concepts of speed control of DC motors by using choppers. By using 2-quadrant choppers, that is 1 and 2 or 1 and 4, that is class C and class D choppers, and also 4-quadrant choppers, we can incorporate all the features of speed control, forward and reverse braking, and also regenerative braking of DC motors. Just refer to whatever we have discussed during the operations of class D chopper, class C chopper, and particularly the 4-quadrant chopper. So owing to these facilities, chopper control drives, particularly for lesser ratings or fractional horsepower DC drives, are most sought after for the speed control aspects. So when compared to other electrical aspects of speed control of DC motors, chopper control of DC motors, and even when compared to single phase converter control, chopper control has more efficiency, size is small, turn on time is less, regeneration of energy is possible, which is not in the case with the single phase converters. Light in weight, smooth control is also possible. Almost linear increase and decreasing in the current can also be achieved, rather than what we have seen in RVS, that is exponential rise and decay. That can also be smoothened out to have almost linear flow of current. So these are the advantages of chopper control of DC motors. Turn on times and regeneration of energy are the most important things, but also smooth control. Applications of chopper control DC drives. Wherever you have drives involving DC source of supply and DC motors, that is industrial drives. Traction system where DC series motors or DC compound motors can be used. Trolleys, forklift trucks, conveyors, cranes. There also you can use all in fact all these applications come under industrial drives, but these trolleys and forklift trucks are used in outdoor also. So this is a mix of indoor and outdoor application. Traction system you can regard it as a separate application. So chopper control drives find their applications in all these things. Just try to have a comparison between single phase converter or converter control of DC motors and chopper control of DC motors regarding a particular constraint. On the operating principle, this converts a constant AC voltage into variable DC, whereas this single stage conversion DC voltage into variable DC. When the constraint is cost, we have to compare the same rated DC drives in both the cases. When we compare the same rated DC drives, cost for DC drives is less when compared cost of single phase drives will be less when compared to DC drives. Why DC drives are costlier when compared to the converter drives is owing to high frequency turn on and turn off, that is forced commutation circuits, and also the inductance is needed to be connected in series with the armature. And even when normally the chopper switches have to operate at very higher frequencies, their cost will be more when compared to single phase converters. This comparison of chopper control advantages was mainly in accordance with the electrical procedures and as well as that is single phase converter drives. So according to that, cost is more for DC drives. Likewise, maintenance cost is also more for DC drives. Chances for continuous operation in single phase, it will be more. Obviously it is AC, sinusoidal AC, which is increasing or decreasing positively or negatively, can be made more linear in case of single phase converters. Repulsion output, that is filtering, can be done more easily when in case of converter drives. In DC chopper drives, these chances are less. But even after these two drawbacks, you can regard the current will be closer to continuous DC. And both of them, that is single phase converter drives as well as chopper control drives, will be finding their applications according to the load requirements and their efficiencies. To summarize, these are the things we have discussed regarding the chopper control, speed control of DC motors using choppers, advantages and applications of chopper control DC drives, but also comparison between converter and chopper control of DC drives. A simple quiz question: chopper control of DC shunt motor is costlier than DC series motors due to costlier than DC series motor. Okay, shunt field, freewheeling diode, series inductance in armature circuit. We have to connect an external inductance which is not a part of the armature circuit. We have to connect an external inductance in series with the armature, which is costly. Chopper output voltage can be varied by constant frequency and varying duty, variable frequency and constant duty, both A and B. Yes, both A and B, that is, first one is constant frequency means pulse width modulation or duty cycle technique. Variable frequency is frequency modulation. So both A and B can be followed. If the output voltage is to be more, which time period should be more? Okay, if we want the output voltage of the chopper to be more, or more volt, if you want to feed more voltage to the load, the conducting time should be more, or turn on time should be more. That is, on time period should be more. On time period should be more. Some of the frequently asked questions according to your curriculum or syllabus: explain the method of speed control of DC shunt motor using choppers, and also series motors. State the applications of chopper control DC drives. Compare converter and chopper control DC drives. Advantage of chopper control DC drives over single phase converter control drives. So these are the discussions related to chopper controlled DC drives for this session. We will be continuing our discussion on the speed control of drives in the next section, in the next session, where particularly it will be AC drives. In the last two sessions, we have discussed the speed control of DC motors, particularly when the supply is AC as well as DC, and in the next session we will discuss the speed control aspects of AC motors by using converters. Thank you.